Hey, I'm a big fan of the 2009 Glatorian Bionicle sets. Wave 1 especially, I think that just really captured my heart way back in the day. So join me. Let's celebrate this often underappreciated line of sets. And we'll celebrate them by taking a look at some revamps of every single one. Let's do it. Kicking it off with one of the best characters, it's your boy, Malum. This revamp is made by Vangi. Yeah, more armor, bigger claws, and then a few nice additions of silver. Most notably these tube elements. Yeah, anytime you include stuff like tubes, pistons, gears, I think it's a surefire way of making your Bionicle creation feel more Bionicle-y, for lack of a better term. I don't know, it's injecting a sense of that like robotic, organic feeling. Something that's very core to Bionicle itself. I think that stuff is great. And sometimes it only requires you to add in like 2 pieces. That's it. And then how about these enlarged claws? If you look carefully, you can actually see the original claw still there. It gives you an idea of how much bigger these claws really are. But yeah, using the orange Akar shoulder claws right here to make those claws massive. That was some good thinking. Yeah, really focusing on the claws, making them the biggest part of this mock. That's a nice touch. The claws were probably the most iconic thing on the original set. You gotta give them a little bit of extra love. I'm trying to see if these are like articulated. I don't know if each individual finger can move or if it's just, static. It's actually kind of hard to tell from these images, and unfortunately there's only one image that was uploaded to this on the original post. So it's a little hard to say. Still, it looks cool, that's all that matters. And then that original torso armor that came on Malum. It had those lovely marbled colors, Keat orange and dark red. But check this out, just the inclusion of these 2 yellow spikes. These are spikes that came in various Chima sets. Yet suddenly now, all of that Keat orange is just accented. It makes it look like fire and flames are bellowing out of the body. It's amazing how the addition of just 2 pieces can drastically improve the colors and design of this mock. It adds in so much more of that elemental fire feeling. Isn't that great? We also have Vakama's mask right here for leg armor. The masks on the Hordika sets, every time I see people using them for leg armor, and it always looks so good. Maybe you're making a leg design right now and you're like, what can I do? What can I add to this to finish it off? Maybe you just got to get one of these masks and slap it on. It's probably all that you need. The builder really did Malum justice. I think this is so cool. Okay, now let's take a look at Vorox. This is built by Hanku Lego. Actually, it's Vorox and Zesk. It's not every day that you see someone revamping the original canister set and then also building its like Matoran, Agori, or Protector companion. That kind of 2-in-1 deal. I don't know, it's always a pleasure to see, and these guys make for a very nice duo. Oh, but take a look at the articulation that this Vorox mock has. It's incredible. The movement that's on display here is so impressive. And something else that's cool, in this shot right here, take a look at the back. You got some of these armor pieces like flaring up. In other images, they're not flaring up. It reminds me of some birds, where they really like puff out their feathers as a form of like intimidation. Make themselves look bigger, more threatening. This kind of reminds me of that. It's a really clever idea, a really nice addition. Something that's a bit more out of the box as well. You don't really see that on every mock. Maybe you got to think a little bit outside the box. Take inspiration from real animals. See what you can learn, and see how you can apply it in a fun way. Now, of course, these armor pieces, they come on the brilliant set, General Grievous, which is such a good toy, and an even better parts pack. All of that beautiful tan. In fact, a lot of the pieces from this set have made it to this revamp, like the head. You can see it right here. From some angles, you can really see the eyes. It kind of kills the illusion, unfortunately. But from other angles, you don't see the facial features at all. Instead, you just notice the shape, the spikes on the cheeks. It just looks like some sort of exotic piece of armor. It looks really good. It's so nice seeing this face piece in action. A lot of people stay away from some of these Star Wars Ultra Build headpieces because, well, it's so obviously a head. You can't really use it for anything other than its original purpose. But that's not the case here, baby. This looks great. Ooh, and then look at these upper legs. making use of 3 Pahatu leg pieces. I don't know, there's just a nice energy to how that looks. Sweet. We've also got Vorox's mask right here on the upper leg. Something that's cool about this is that piece has this natural texture to it that is very similar to these gears. There's a nice bit of visual consistency. It takes skill to have a really good understanding of different textures and partnering pieces together so that they match and just feel cohesive. This is nice. Really nice. Skrall and Slicer is up next. Oblivimox has built this one. Dude, using the iconic Skrall shield for 2 big buzzsaws? Oh, that's nice. But okay, yeah, I'm sure you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, it is nice, but physically it looks so different from the original Skrall set. And okay, that's fine, but I don't know, the silhouette of that original set is so good. It's a shame to see that change. But let me be devil's advocate. I think that's cool. Yeah, something I love about the Skralls so much is we got a lot of them. Many different species, many different classes. I like the fact that the Skralls are just this very diverse species with a lot of different looks, appearances, and I don't know, they wear different armor. So I like the idea that this is just another subspecies of the Skrall. And the Skrall are often seen gearing up for war. Maybe this is like a soldier Skrall, one that's customized themselves a little bit more so that they serve a specific tactical purpose in battle. I don't know, I think this just sort of fits into the larger world and lore of the Skralls. I dig it. And I also dig this gear right here on the center of the torso. It's like I said before, little details like this that feel a bit more mechanical. They're very important. You gotta add stuff like that into your Bionicles. And then we've got some doubled up feet pieces. The red one comes from Nitroblast and the black one from Nuparu. Putting them on top of each other like this, you get that elegant stripe of red. It just really pops, doesn't it? Heck yeah. Tarix is up next, and this is made by Muhammad Mari. Oh yeah, more gold armor. I like the change to add in a little bit more asymmetrical armor. When you look at actual gladiators, that's kind of what they look like. They often have that one big bulky shoulder pad, and sometimes they have a smaller one on the other side, or nothing. Remember, the Glatorian sets, you can tell from the name, they're very much inspired by gladiators. So to take inspiration from the original source material that inspired these sets, that just makes sense. Something else that just makes sense is this armor on the waist, using some of these gold feet pieces that came from Chi Larvel. Putting them upside down and angling them out, it's stylish. And then I quite like seeing this G2 armor piece on the waist. Oh, it just looks cool. This entire revamp looks pretty cool. And I guess I could make a cool pun if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Let's move over to the ice guy, Strakk. This is by Mox. What I love about this is that it keeps Strakk's iconic hunch. Many revamps, they don't include the hunch, and I don't know, it's so core to the character. Without it, he just looks off. So it's good to see it here. Something else that's very core to the character are these big shards of ice on his shoulders. The shape and feel of that is kind of continued on these Borok eyes. You can see them all along the back. Hey, that's good, keeping it consistent, repeating those colors, repeating those textures. That works. That really works. The trans blue Technic panels on the torso, I think they're also pretty good as well. Now, if I'm not mistaken, LEGO has never made these pieces in those colors, so these might be third-party bricks. But still, it looks cool. There's a few other Technic panels on this mock that do look nice. You know me, I love those pieces. Oh, but I do love dual-wielded giant ice axes. The original set had one, it just makes sense to give him 2 in a revamp. That's very nice. And now, we finish with the legendary Gresh. A set that I thought was just so frickin' awesome as a kid. And this revamp right here, by Recolin Whitecastle, oh, it nails it. So this revamp removes a lot of the dark green. And then it adds in just a little bit more lime. A lot of these lime pieces, of course, come from Gresh stars. But now we've got a bunch more black. And you know what? I think this was a brilliant addition. Gresh, he was always this slim, agile, fast character. Sometimes he even kind of gave off some ninja vibes. And yeah, typically, not always, but for the most part, you see ninjas wearing black. So I don't know, this just fits right in. It feels right at home. And yeah, the inclusion of one of these black CCBS armor shells from the Star Wars Ultra Build sets, the sleek, agile appearance of that, it pairs so nicely with everything else. Ooh, and then take a look at the back. We got some of these Invasion from Below large spikes. The sharp feeling of this, it matches the shoulders, the helmet, all of the spikes that we see everywhere else. Great idea to keep that consistent. Add in a few more pieces to continue some of the existing vibes. And actually, a fun fact, if you want these spikes in lime green, they only come in one set. And that set is this Monkey Kid set. Now, I don't know about you, I always like hearing about rare recolors that are surprisingly exclusive. Doesn't it just make you feel good when you're like, oh, I actually have those? That's cool, it's not that common. I say that and I do not own these pieces, but hey, maybe you do. And that's exciting. Yeah, I just like the consistency of all of these repeated spikes. Something about it reminds me of plant life, which, again, is part of the aesthetic of Gresh. And then something else that I really appreciate is these pieces right here, the Mystica Jets. Putting them on the back of the weapons? I don't really have much to say about that, it just looks good. They didn't need to be there, but I like that they are. You know what else is good? Every single revamp that we saw today. And you know what's even better? The other mocks that these builders built. Be sure to take a look at the links below if you want to see even more. But that's it for some 2009 Bionicle love. What's one of your favorite 2009 Bionicle sets? Sound off in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. I spoke about those uncommon lime spikes, and I was like, hey, how exciting is it if you happen to have one? Because yeah, it's a little bit rare. Maybe not expensive, but rare. It reminds me of a time where I told one of my bosses about the very rare original Lego Jango Fett figure. And he was like, oh yeah, I have that. And I was like, you're aware how much it costs, right? And he was like, no. And then I showed him the price and he was like, oh my God, what? And he raced home, he realized he still had it, and he was like, this is so cool. I don't know, I never really care about the price of what a piece is worth. It's more the story behind it. And then stuff like that, where it can make someone so happy when they realize, oh my God, I have a rare thing. There is a bit of a magic to that. That kind of collecting magic, you know?